Hello, Mick Tobyn here, the founder and CEO of Stylem Studios, the photography and video production house, and as of recently, record label, since I started producing music as MC Tobyn a few years back. And I'm here today on August 7th of 2023 because I'm on a mission. Mission from God, actually. And yes, I do talk to God in my garage when I go there to smoke, but he doesn't talk in an out loud voice. It's a voice I hear in my head only, and it's basically my own voice just getting cool ideas, but then later on I get confirmation that it's from God, which I'll go into at some other point. But basically, I've been wanting to do this video for quite a while now, and I've been putting it off because the word utopia, which means like paradise on earth, as sort of invented by Thomas More, the philosopher, and I believe he was a priest at one point. But anyway, it has been taken in just about any form for any domain names that I've wanted to register for this mission. And so I was kind of put off by that because I really wanted to have the word utopia in there. But basically the mission is to usher in the 1,000 years of paradise on earth that's mentioned in the Bible by ending poverty and homelessness and starvation worldwide. Now that's not something I really think will be accomplished in my lifetime because as it is, I'm 49, will be 50 on November 24th this year. But I believe it is certainly possible in the near future. I believe we have the resources on the planet to do it, and it's just a matter of distribution problems and like who wants to foot the bill for doing all of that, which nobody has really volunteered to do thus far. I mean, people raise money for various charities here and there that, you know, help with starvation in other countries and locally and so forth, but they're just a band-aid solution. They're bringing food to those places and, you know, trying to help them to grow it, but not really anything that's sustainable for the long term, which is what I'm hoping to change. I want to have a worldwide effort to, you know, with those goals specifically in mind, ending poverty and homelessness and starvation. And I've actually started a society to do so, which is going to be called the Kingdom of God Society, or KOGS, with a K instead of a C, similar to the cogs in a machine, like the gears. We keep things running and smoothly, and I'm the first member and founder, and yeah, I will be recruiting other people to help me with this cause. And I specifically am interested in this because I've experienced homelessness briefly myself for about 3 days in Toronto. I was house sitting at a friend's house and, you know, had a falling out with him because of some problems I was having in my own life, kind of a personal little nervous breakdown perhaps over the course of the 2 weeks that I was house sitting there, or apartment sitting. I was trying to film a horror movie of all things with myself as the star about a guy who's kind of losing his marbles and you know, was having blackouts and you know, lack of sleep and you know, drunk and high the whole time. And I'm a method actor, so I was really like that, and you know, not a good time in my life. Lost a friend over it who was one of my best friends at the time. And yeah, I was you know, dealing with a brother who has mental health issues himself. He's had paranoid delusions ever since the year 2000 roughly, you know, thinks everyone's out to get him, and you know, has a violent temper, so he gets insanely mad about things that don't even exist, and then has temper tantrums where he starts screaming and, you know, threatening people with violence over these like imaginary incidents of his where people are supposedly saying things in code to him that are secret messages to taunt him and so forth. Kind of like the movie Beautiful Mind, only much sadder and real. So anyways, I was dealing with that at the time, as well as my own issues, and long story short, I can relate to people who are homeless and living on the street, because I had to do that for 3 days before coming back to Kitchener here, where I currently live with my mother, who's 84 and unfortunately suffers from really bad arthritis and has a short-term memory of only about 30 seconds. If you tell her any new information, she forgets it about 30 seconds later. And unfortunately, it's so bad that when you're in the middle of answering a question for her, she asks the same question again in the middle of your answer. That's how bad her memory is. So I've had to stay home with her the last 2.5 or 3 years, I guess it's been now, since COVID started in 2019, to take care of her, because she also, as mentioned, has really bad arthritis, and anytime she falls, she's unable to get herself back up. And at the time that I moved in with her, she was falling about once a month. Now she's got a walker, so she doesn't fall quite as often as she did when she was walking on her own or with a cane. But at any rate, yeah, rather than putting her in a home, which we can't really afford at the moment because it costs about 3,000 to 4,000 a month for a good one in Canada here, in Kitchener, Ontario. I've been her sort of live-in PSW, personal support worker. And, it's not exactly what I had planned for my life. I had at one point thought of, traveling the world with my fashion and glamour models, because I don't think I mentioned that, but I did a lot of fashion, glamour, and event photography and video production in Toronto when I lived there until about 2014. And then I moved to Kitchener here in Ontario to be closer to Mum in the event of an emergency. But at any rate, so I haven't really done that since I moved back, but I did get into music production. Thought, yeah, maybe I might tour the world, performing concerts and things like that, although I don't actually play any instruments. It's all electronically made music, so if you want to watch me push buttons for several hours while light effects and dancers and stuff are all around me, then, and pay like $100 plus a ticket, by all means, invite me to do so. But yeah, I'm mostly one of those bedroom, or in my case garage, music producers. Started doing music on my cell phone, then evolved to a tablet, and then my PC, and then who knows where we'll go from there. If someone wants to donate me one of those big fancy mixer boards like you see in those